You know the world actually has a walkthrough guide. But adults, well, they rarely share it. Most people only figure it out way later in life, after they've already grown up. But you're gonna know it right now. Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm the adult in the room just walking alongside you, helping you untangle this beautifully complex world using plain, simple words. So hey there, smart kid. Today, it was raining cats and dogs outside, and I was just sitting there drinking my coffee, slowly scrolling through the international financial news, and I stumbled across a piece of news that was so massive, so heavyweight, I literally almost spilled my drink.
Okay, let's really dive into this. A top official at the U.S. Federal Reserve, which is basically the headquarters that manages the most money in the entire world, a guy named Governor Christopher Waller, suddenly made a very public statement at an international conference. He essentially said that stablecoins and tokenized assets are creating a brand new secret pathway for the U.S. dollar. Simply put, the U.S. government is officially nodding and admitting something absolutely huge. They're admitting that U.S. dollar stablecoins in the cryptocurrency world are absolutely not going to destroy the dollar. Actually, it's the exact opposite. They're becoming a powerful new weapon for the U.S. dollar to completely dominate the globe. Now, you might be wondering, what does this all mean for me? I'm just a kid. Well, don't rush. We're going to break down this brand new financial trend, the exact same trend Wall Street elites are desperately scrambling to study right now, and we're going to do it in the trendiest, plainest words possible.
And this really illustrates the core concept beautifully. Let's just imagine for a second that you're playing a massive online game. Inside that game, there are official recharge points, right? And as long as every single player on the server recognizes those points, you can use them to buy the absolute strongest armor and gear in the game. Well, in the real world, the strongest, most powerful official game points globally is the US dollar. But now technology has leveled up, and people are playing on the blockchain. So to make trading easier, blockchain players invented something called a stablecoin. Think of it just like a one-to-one virtual replica of a physical US dollar, but inside a video game. As long as you hold one Tether or one USDC, it's exactly equal to holding a real, physical $1 bill in the virtual world. Now, this sheer contrast here is just fascinating. Back in the day, the old money folks in traditional US finance thought this whole crypto thing was just here to destroy things and steal their business. But this time, Governor Waller suddenly changed his tune. He realized, wow, this is actually incredibly beneficial for us. Why? Because historically, in many parts of the world, places like Africa, South America, or anywhere with spotty internet and very few banks, young people who just wanted to save US dollars on their phones faced massive friction. I mean, they had to physically run to banks, jump through a million hoops to open accounts, and get hit with these incredibly high, terrifying fees. But now, with stablecoins, if you've got a phone and an internet connection, boom, in one single second, you can convert your assets into digital dollars. This right here is called tokenization. It's taking real-world money, cutting it up into tiny digital building blocks, and letting it flow wildly and instantly all across the internet.
So, here is the absolutely crucial secret the US government suddenly woke up to. For these blockchain players to keep their stablecoin, well, stable so it doesn't just crash out of nowhere, the issuing companies have to secretly buy massive amounts of US Treasury bonds, US national debt, to act as collateral behind the scenes. It's literally the ultimate cheat code. Think about the result here. The more young people globally love using stablecoins, the more national debt the US government can sell. So the dominance of the US dollar didn't get destroyed at all. It actually got a crazy buff, an absolute superpower, courtesy of the digital tech players.
And this whole thing builds into a massive butterfly effect. The chain reactions in the financial world are falling just like dominoes right now. Previously, a bunch of national governments wanted to create their own central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. But Waller publicly dismissed all that. He essentially said, look, nobody wants to use clunky, government-issued digital money. Private US dollar stablecoins are the real kings here. This is the US boldly announcing that in the future digital finance battlefield, they're deploying a private stablecoin army to just sweep the globe. Other countries are going to find it way harder to compete, and global capital will get sucked into the US dollar system like a giant black hole. And what about a place like Taiwan? Taiwan is a tech island that heavily depends on foreign trade and mostly earns in US dollars. So when the dollar starts flowing through the blockchain as this new 24/7 pathway, Taiwan's finance and tech startup sectors are facing a harsh adapt or die scenario. If they don't catch this tokenization wave, they simply get pushed out of the international capital circle. People already love buying US debt. Soon, they'll just tap their phone app twice to buy tokenized US debt. If traditional banks are too slow to keep up, the money just walks away.
Section 1. The World Cafe, a late-night geopolitical chess game. Picture this with me for a second. Imagine a dimly lit loft-style cafe. The background music is this low, slightly crackling vinyl jazz record. There are just a few vintage tungsten bulbs giving off this warm amber glow. The air is thick with the rich scent of Old Man Headland coffee, but it's mixed with that faint, metallic smell of a digital server room. Around a massive walnut round table, the souls of different nations are gathered playing a late-night geopolitical chess game. And each one is holding a drink that perfectly matches their deep personality. Let's look at the first half of the table. The USA, looking like a sharp-suited golden retriever, slams a massive iced Americano down on the table, ice clinking loudly. "I'm not here to debate," he smiles confidently. "This new pathway is laid. My rule is simple. Play blockchain however you want, but the underlying asset must be my US debt. I set the universal rules." Now, over in the shadows sits China, a mastiff elegantly sipping steaming pu'er tea. He sneers, low and dangerous. Trusting sovereign currency to private stablecoins, you're playing with fire. My strict regulation is the precise long-term play. I will wait for your overly permissive system to crack. Then there's the UK, a bulldog leaning back on a leather sofa, swirling whiskey on the rocks. "Oh, stop arguing," he says with dry English humor. An elegant balance of tokenization and traditional banks is the real future. Germany, a German shepherd, stares intently at a black coffee measured perfectly to 85 degrees. Typing away on a laptop, he mutters, "We need precision systems and strict frameworks, or uncontrolled liquidity will bring systemic disaster." And Japan, a Shiba Inu sitting perfectly straight with warm matcha, bows slightly. "We will enforce extreme safety and strict audits. We simply won't let our citizens bear unnecessary risks."
Moving to the rest of the table. France, a poetic bird, swirls a glass of red wine and sighs. "You are all so boring with your rules. Without absolute personal freedom and aesthetic revolution, this entire digital game is meaningless." India, an energetic desi dog, chugs some spiced chai, eyes gleaming. "There's no standard answer. While you big nations argue, our youth are using flexible APIs to innovate. Web3 belongs to us." Vietnam, a Phu Quoc Ridgeback, sits quietly with iced condensed coffee. He doesn't even speak, just nods firmly, thinking to himself, "I'm not fighting for power. I'll just silently write the core code, stay resilient, and earn the money." Thailand, a Thai Ridgeback, gently pours hot water with a soft smile. "Let's not be tense. As long as this promotes harmony and seamless cross-border tourism for everyone, it's all good." And finally, sitting quietly in the very center of it all, is Taiwan. She's a highly observant mixed breed, a mix, holding a warm cup of bubble tea. Her clear, highly sensitive eyes watch absolutely everyone. She reads the USA's desire for control. She sees through China's long-term ambition. She understands France's thirst for freedom and Germany's obsession with order. She takes a slow sip of boba, smiling a highly empathetic, secret little smile. She thinks, "I see it. I understand this digital dollar power struggle perfectly, but I won't say it out loud. I'll just silently find the best safe harbor for our tech industry, right in the cracks between you all."
Okay, let's step out of the cafe for a minute and into a short economics lesson. Smart kid, everything we just saw in that room can be explained by a super classic economic model, network effects. Now, the name sounds kind of fancy, but the principle is incredibly simple. Think about it. Why does your entire class use the exact same messaging app, like Instagram or Line? Because when everyone around you is using it, it becomes absolutely irreplaceable to you, right? If you're the only person in class using an app called Mars Chat, well, even if it has the best features and the prettiest interface in the world, it's useless garbage because you have literally no one to talk to. Money works exactly the same way. The US dollar stablecoin in the blockchain world is exactly like that messaging app everyone agreed to use. As more and more people use the digital dollar just for sheer convenience, its network effect builds into a terrifying monopoly. This leads to a situation where, when other countries want to issue their own digital currencies, they suddenly find out nobody wants to download them and nobody wants to use them. It becomes a total, absolute ecological monopoly.
So, looking at this hidden operating system of the world, do you see how those incredibly dense, boring financial news broadcasts you see on TV are actually hiding a spectacular, Hollywood-level brawl of sovereign personalities? My young friend, I really want to praise you right now. While other kids your age are blindly scrolling through short, meaningless videos, just wasting their time, you're willing to settle down. You're sitting right here with me, using a critical eye to peek into the underlying operating system of global wealth. This desire to stay awake, this refusal to just follow the crowd, it's incredibly mature and it is super cool. That curious brain of yours, that is the most powerful leverage you will ever have in your entire life.
Section 2. The Golden Ratio. Your Financial Action Plan.
Now that we actually understand this massive trend, we can't just sit on the sidelines as spectators. Here is your exact survival guide for finding that golden ratio. Step 1. Personal learning. Don't be digitally illiterate. Early on, you need to unlock the dual skills of finance plus code. Trust me, in the future, a finance expert who doesn't understand blockchain is basically half illiterate, and a programmer who doesn't understand money, just a code monkey. Understand the underlying logic of smart contracts. That is the absolute most valuable brain to have for the next 10 years. Step 2. Micro investments. Since the Fed just showed us that stablecoins drive U.S. debt demand, U.S. assets remain a huge safe haven. Start tiny habits. Use legitimate platforms to slowly learn about U.S. assets or ETFs. Even with just a tiny amount of pocket money, start feeling the heartbeat of dollar exchange rates. Step 3. Demo trading. Go download some financial software with zero-cost simulation features. Practice buying and selling simulated tokenized assets. Observe what actually happens when the U.S. announces an interest rate hike or a cut. Use a zero-cost simulator to crash into the market and build up your market intuition safely.
I really want to send my most gentle blessings to you brilliant young minds out there. May you ride this massive wave where digital tech and finance intersect without ever blindly following the herd. Keep your thinking clear and slowly accumulate your very first bucket of intelligence and wealth. The world is vast and the problems are many. But don't be afraid. The adult is here to help you explain it all. Now, I have a fun little challenge for you. Go to school today. Take this network effect concept you just learned and playfully test your geography or civics teacher. See if they can answer it. I bet you know more about the secret operating system of the world than they do right now. Okay, we'll see you in the next explainer. Bye-bye.